Hello, hello.
Hello everyone, my name is Chris. In this video I'm going over tips and tricks for the new Uprising game mode in Overwatch. Okay, so first I'm going to start off with common mistakes, and I'm going to go by each hero and people playing them make common mistakes. Okay, so the first mistake I see as Tracer is people try to go after the big detonators or the balls when you have to defend the payload while it's charging up. If you're a Tracer, don't try and solo that because you will not get it unless maybe you have your ultimate. Honestly, leave that to Reinhardt. I'll get that in later in this video, but Tracer, if you're playing Tracer, do not go after the big balls of death. Also, I often see people just ignoring the little dogs or whatever you want to call them, velociraptors. I've heard them both from my friends and stuff. But seriously, if you're Tracer, you need to deal with that. You can't just let them there and let Torbjorn's turret take care of it, because they won't die fast enough, you know? I mean, they'll die eventually, but they do a lot of damage quick. So if they just sit there for 10 seconds, they're going to do a lot of damage. Okay, so as Tracer, for the 3 control points when you have to hack the terminals or whatever it is, it's pretty simple and straightforward. Really, you just got to kind of defend on the point. You really want to stay on the point, only branch out a little bit, especially on the second one and the third one. Oftentimes I see people on the third point that just rush out and get killed really easily because, you know, Mercy needs to stay on point. Torbjorn should always be on the point no matter what, to be honest. Reinhardt should also always be on, really you should always be on the point, or at least in the cathedral. Never push out of it. But for when you're defending the payload and it's charging up, you really do need to kill the little dogs or whatever. You know, they destroy the payload so quickly, and for Reinhardt, he needs to deal with other stuff like the bastions or the big balls of death. So as Tracer, you really need to focus on the dogs. And when all the velociraptors or the dogs, I'm just gonna call them dogs, whenever they're all dead and stuff, you can just go and chip away at the big balls of death or the bastions or something else, but your main focus on Tracer while defending the payload should be the little dogs. And while you're moving the payload, you really should also be focused on the dogs and stuff, because they will sneak up behind you and do a lot of damage. That's how I've lost a couple times, is my Tracer just hasn't been focused on them, and they're more focused on the bastion that the Reinhardt and Torb should be focusing on, and it just gets to a big mess, and people go down or the payload loses health, and it's just bad. Then for the actual final boss round, I guess you can say, Tracers should really be focused on the bastions. I know it seems hard, but I'm going to put a clip on the screen of when I had a really good thing going against the bastion, and you should be doing that every time. As Tracer, it's pretty easy to destroy the bastion, and you should be saving your ultimate up for the bastions anyway, so it's really easy to take care of them and stuff. The Orisa should be handled by Torbjorn and Reinhardt, and then once both bastions or all the bastions are down, then you can focus on Orisa and chip away at her health. Alright, now moving on to Torbjorn. For Torbjorn, it's really straightforward. Just place your turrets in secretive spots, but not too secret where they're only getting a few picks. You just don't want it to be out in the open. You want it to be in a good spot where it'll kill a lot, but also behind cover. Also, as Torbjorn, never hold on to your ultimate. It's just such a waste, because so many times I've been playing with Torbjorns and they just sit there with their ult, which is so dumb. If you're Torbjorn, your ultimate lasts a long time. So if, say you're defending the payload, right? You could literally use it at the beginning of a round, or just as the round's starting to heat up and stuff, and then you can just wipe them all down and stuff, and then get right to the big balls of death or the bastions. That's it for Torbjorn. As I said, very straightforward. Now as Reinhardt, he probably has the biggest job and the most work to do. If you're playing Rein, you can't just expect to sit there with your shield and let the Tracer and Torb do the work, because they can't. You need to be up in the front line killing stuff constantly. So on the first point for the 3 control points, it's really easy. There's just 2 doorways, so realistically Ryan can handle the left one and Tracer can hit the right one. And on the second point, when they're coming from every direction, you really do want to focus kind of on the middle lane as Ryan, because that's where a lot drop down. Although don't push up, you really don't want to be too far up where your Mercy can't get you and stuff, because she needs to be with the whole team. Tracer and Torb can kind of handle the sides and the behind, and then you can focus on the middle lane or the right in front of you. Or also, don't forget to put your shield up. Just because, you know, you are supposed to be killing more and stuff and you have a big job, doesn't mean you shouldn't put your shield up. There's a lot of certain situations where if Orion had a shield up, we would have been alive or would have had way more health and been able to, win and stuff. Also, as Ryan, you need to focus the big balls of death. Those should not be handled by really anyone else besides you. I mean, yeah, a Tracer or a Torb can chip away a little bit, but what you should do, if you see a big ball of death, what I usually do is do the fire strike, so that way I can hit all of them in an area, because they always clump up and stuff with the other Omnics, and then you hold down your charge, grab onto the ball, send them flying way far away from the payload and stuff, and then you can just slowly, as it crawls towards, or floats I guess, towards the payload, you can just hit it with your hammer multiple times and it will die. Also, it's really easy to kill a bastion as Ryan. Say you're taking a lot of, he's shooting you a lot and you need to put up your shield, you can literally just put up your shield, have the Mercy heal you or something, and then you can go to kill it. And then say the Ryan or something really does need help killing it, a Tracer or Torb can just chip away a little bit or help you out in that situation. Then on the final round, when you're like, it's the boss fight, the Ryan should really be focused on the OR14s or like the Orisa looking Omnics and stuff. Yeah, you can kill the Bastions a little bit, but your main focus should be the Orisa like Omnics or whatever, the OR14s, because you can do so much damage and just counter her really well, to be honest, like just in this certain like gamer and stuff. I mean, if your Tracer really needs help, it's not that hard to kill a Bastion as Ryan. But, like, I mean, Orisa is really not that hard. Like, say, you know, she puts her shield. Well, you can literally rush in there and just, like, pin her and then start killing her. And then, like, the Bastions hopefully will be killed or be distracted by the Tracer. So then you don't really need to focus on that, and it's really easy to kill her. So that's it for Reinhardt. Now on to Mercy. Mercy really, I mean, her job is just kind of like it is in competitive. You need to be extremely focused, but not on just one hero. You need to be so aware of your surroundings and like what's going on that you can really just go in and heal anyone, because like just in like 2 seconds a Tracer could be in critical health and stuff, so you need to fly over. And Ryan, yeah, he has a lot of health, but you also should be like helping him up and stuff a lot. And Torbjorn, you know, hopefully your Torb's smart and kind of more like hidden behind cover with his turret and stuff, and you know, just doesn't like charge out like a moron. But you know, you just gotta heal all of your heroes and be really focused. Also, don't be afraid to use your res. So many times we're like, you know, if one hero's down, like say your Ryan's down, you need your Ryan up. So like, don't be afraid to just put him up. Sometimes like people only want to do 2, like you know, like when they use their res, they get 2 people up, which isn't bad. I get that. But you really should be able to just use your res. Like if you're doing a lot of healing, you should have your res constantly. And plus you can hold R to revive. Like say Tracer's down, Ryan can literally just put up his shield block and then you can revive really instantly. So it's not that bad. That's pretty much it for this tips and tricks video. I've never done a video like this before. But if you guys did enjoy them, please click the like button down below. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.